Hi, hello everyone. I'm a tutor of UPLETS. So this is HTML5 and CSS3 interview questions and answer. So to know more about us, please use this website address which I have given in my presentation. So today we are going to discuss about some of the interview questions and answer frequently which is asked in many interviews. So let's see what is HTML5. So this is like common questions, but it has a different answer. So this is one of the important answer most of the interviewer will expect. So it is like recent version is of HTML is HTML5 Hypertext Markup Language. So it is a language for structuring and displaying a content for World Wide Web. A core technology of the internet is HTML. So the next is what is doc type and it is necessary to use in HTML. Yeah, so it is like instruction to a web browser about what is the version of a HTML we are using. So the doc type tag does not have an end tag and it is case sensitive. So the declaration must be very first thing in HTML5 document before the tag. So it is also one of the important interview question. So in HTML4 and above below version is a standard generalized markup language is SGML. So whereas HTML5 is not based on that standard generalized markup, therefore they does not require a reference to a document type definition. So next is question is what are the few features of HTML5? So features of new features is like comparing to previous version in HTML5, they have introduced canvas for 2D drawing, audio video elements for media playback. So it is also support local storage, new content specific elements just like article, footer, header, nav and section. So next question is what is canvas, how you can define. So it is the element of HTML5 which uses the JavaScript to draw a graphics on web pages. So it is basically like a rectangular area in which each and everything is controlled by pixels. So there are several methods for drawing paths, boxes, circles, characters. And also you can add an image by using canvas. So in order to add a canvas tag to your HTML document, we need ID, width and height. So below is the example how to write basic canvas tag to your HTML document. So canvas ID, my first canvas, so width is 100, height is 100, I'm just closing. So this is how you need to define what is canvas when you get this question. So the next is what is session storage and object in HTML, how you can create and access. Basically it stores the data for one session. The data is deleted when it will delete it when the user closes the browser window. So below I am just give the some of the syntax to create that. So just need to create like this. So I have created the session storage called .blog name. So inside the blog name, this particular session will be available in the name of online interview questions. So if you want to access that, you just get like this session storage name, so that you will get this particular answer. This is how you need to create the session storage and access. So the next question. So what is the difference between cache, application cache and regulate HTML browser cache? So that all the websites such as HTML file, CSS, JavaScript, while the client's connected, so it is not necessary for the user to have access the content previously for fetching. So in other words, the application cache can prefetch the pages that have been visited that are unavailable in regular browser. But prefetching files can speed up the site's performance through you are of course using the bandwidth to download those files initially. So this is the main difference between the application cache and HTML browser. So that you can use that. So next is Previously, I have shown you the session storage. So now, next question would be, what is the use of local storage? So they are done with cookies, but the cookies are not very large amount of data because they are passed on every request to the server. But if the data is not passed by every server request, it's used only, it is possible to store large amount of data without affecting the website performance. The data stored in different area for different website can be accessed and stored by itself. And we can also create a local store, just need to call local storage object, uh, like below we are storing the name and address. So the name would be local storage dot name. I have given the name called ABC. Address local storage dot address, I have given the address. So in order to access that, you need to give just local storage dot address so that you can access. So the next to this, how can you list the input types attributes in HTML? So we have n number of attributes in previous version of HTML, but in HTML5 we have some of the new input type attributes. So tell, it is like input telephone number field in the search. So next is URL, is a URL. Email, one or more email addresses. You can type date and time, or date, month, week. Time input values should be of type time, date time local, number, only number can enter in that field, range, a number in a given range you need to enter. Color is like hexadecimal color, like given color code. Placeholder, which is specific the short hint that describes the expected value of an input field. Next question is, what is SVG and advantages? So this SVG is a language of describing two-dimensional vector graphics in the XML file. So it is basically stands for scalable vector graphics. So the points whichever I have given, it's not all the points are not important, so you can just take any of the 2 points and then you can answer for this advantages of SVG. So we have a number of advantages, but I have mentioned only few. So SVG defines the graphics in XML format and does not lose any quantity if they zoomed or resized. That is the main advantage. So you can say, so every attribute and element in SVG, they can be animated. So here is my code. You can check for this SVG example code I have given. If you want, you can run and see. So, and some of the important SVGs to create and edit the text editor is the images are scalable. They can be printed with high quality at any type of resolution. And as already discussed, they are zoomable without any degradation. So next is difference between SVG and Canvas. So this SVG is a language for describing 2D graphics in XML, but whereas Canvas draws 2D graphics on fly. So SVG is XML based, which means that every element is available within SVG DOM. You can attach a JavaScript event handler for element. So in SVG, each drawn shape is an object, so they can change or automatically they can re-render the shape. But whereas canvas is rendered by pixel. So if the position should be changed, the entire scene needs to be redrawn, including any object that might have covered by the graphics. So the next is difference between transitional and strict doc type. So the strict is contains all HTML elements and attributes, but it does not include a presentation. Here, the frame sets are strictly not allowed. Transitional means it contains all HTML elements and attributes, including presentation and deprecated. Here also the frame sets are not strictly allowed. So the next